Hello, everyone. This is Ray Williams. I'm here from IMSTA, and welcome to another episode of IMSTA Song Reviews. This is our second episode. I think everybody can agree that we had a lot of fun last time. We had some great music, and tonight will be no different. We have a lineup of 12 songs from around the world, from several countries, and we're going to jump in to listen to them. But first, I want to welcome my guests, our wonderful panel of expert song reviewers. Started with Clarissa Diokno, Kalik Glover, Mishka, and of course, our own local Clint Ward. Without any further ado, we're going to jump right in and hear our first song. It comes from Madam Who from the United States, and this song is called You're Not Alone. So let's jump right in. Madam Who.
Whether it's in person or with people online, just keep in mind
We're going to start out with Clarissa. What did you think?
I love the lyrics, like especially the first verse. I think it captured me because they're very descriptive, and I really like the singer's voice. I think the vocals are very expressive. The overall message of the song is really good. I think it's very relatable, and I think a lot of people would resonate with that message. You're not alone. I think I would have preferred if maybe the harmonies in the chorus were just a little bit lowered. I love that bridge section and the bass line in the last section. I love the ad libs as well. Are we still rating it out of 10?
Yeah, we're still rating it out of 10 for sure.
I'm going to give it an 8.5.
Okay. What do you think of that section where the kind of voice disappeared on us?
That it disappeared? Are you talking about
It seems like it went down very low.
Oh, I'm not sure which part you're
Okay.
talking about.
In the middle somewhere. All right, so we got you down for 8.5.
Yeah.
Next is Khalik. Khalik, what's your opinion, sir?
Okay, well, I like the song. I think I attend a lot of online events, so this reminds me of like a very inspirational kind of song that people at a live event would hype them up in between speakers and stuff like that. So I really like the positive messaging and letting you know that there's hope and you're not alone in this, whatever it is you're trying to do. And yeah, I like how it was going. I heard that part you were talking about too. Overall, I think with the vocals too, because it's such a message song, I think it would benefit maybe to make the vocals a little more clearer. Just to beef them up just a hair, just a nudge. But overall, I love it, and I think I would go either an 8 or an 8.5 with this one.
Well, you got to tell me which one, brother.
Okay, I'll do an 8.5 too, because
Okay.
I like it. It made me feel good.
Okay. Mishka.
Okay, to me, uh, I'm probably not going 8.5. And a lot of it, like I like a lot of the elements of the record. Um, I also heard that section that you didn't like, Ray, which was to me, part of it is the clash of the fact that you went kind of telephoned out on both vocals in that section. Had you only done it to one vocal, like the more spoken word part, we would actually be able to hear what you're saying, but we can't really even really hear what you're saying because both of them are kind of telephoned out and they're in the same space, so they're kind of just distracting.
Hmm.
For me, I liked a lot of the techniques. I like the words, but and I also feel like that the what I would call a drop hook, kind of after that telephone section. Um, I just felt like the doubles on the vocals just were not tight enough that and were a little pitchy in sections. So for me, I'm gonna give this song a 5.
Okay. All right. Clint, Mr. Ward.
Hey. So I think I'm halfway between where Mishka was and everybody else was. For sure. So it's a really fun song with a good message. Really nice voice. And I think for me, the production treatment to the voice, you could have stripped half of it away and simply EQ'd it so it sat nice in a pocket. I think that sometimes when we produce vocals and since we have a million effects, we're going to use them. I tend to think with a voice like that, I don't want to use them. So I really heard a bit of that technique, like, when they doubled the vocal, sometimes it was that. So that really isn't the song. It's really more a little bit of the production. I think the voice was so good that it could have stood on its own way better. Um, I asked a really weird question to myself. Is this a country song? Would it have been better as a country song? It's a strange thing for me to say it. So I think overall it was also too long. I think you could have edited it down. It would have been a way more effective story and the narrative would have been stronger had it been a little bit shorter. So really my key takeaway, it's a fun song with a great message, great voice. There's a lot of potential, maybe a little less FX on the vocals. Would almost like to hear this song as an acoustic version to really hear the song and then go back and do it again. So for some of those things, I'm going to give it a 7.5.
Okay. And I take your point. I think the song was too long. Whenever I got to stand up, look over there and say, wait a minute, where are we? Are we halfway? Wow, it's too long. Guys, it's too long. All right, we'll go to the next song. This is Robbie Maroon, all the way from Australia. The song is called Rewind. Here it is.
She left the life one day before he got to say yeah, but she was gone. How did it get this way? No one is to blame. Shattered pieces on the floor. Rewind, renew time. Don't say you're gone. Rewind, review your life. This time the book is closed. La di da 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 da. Da 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 da. La di da 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 da. La di da 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 da. Da da da. La di da da da. She spent some time away to find a little space to hear her thoughts. All she wanted was a break. You know one was to blame. She grew tired of feeling alone. Rewind, renew time. Don't say you're gone. Rewind, review your life. This time the book is closed. La di da 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 da. Da 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 da. La di da 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 da. La di da 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 da. Da da da. La di da da da. If they found a little space while holding hands every day, they may have found a way to grow. In the end, well, who's to say there could be a better way? But no one knows. No one knows. Rewind, renew time. Don't say you're gone. Rewind, review your life. This time the book is closed. La di da 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 da. Da 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 da. La di da 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 da. La di da 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 da. Da da da. La di da da da. The book is closed.
Okay, so we're gonna go with Khalik. You're up first, sir. What do you think?
Okay, got that old school throwback thing. I think I like the basic feel of it, but one thing that just for me, I don't know if anybody else felt this, but I felt there was too much vocals like all the time. You know, I really would have liked to have seen a little more handoff back and forth. You know, because I like some of the parts that were being done. You know, so when they're singing rewind, then I'd like to see it handed off to da 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 da, almost like it's call response horn stuff like it. It was doing it, but because there was so many vocals all the time and it was always thick and harmonies and stuff like that, you couldn't feel the dynamic vocal push as much, in my opinion. That's the one thing that I think I would have liked to have seen happen a little bit more, so that it would bounce back and forth a bit.
What do you think of the little? What do you think of the little bridge, the little musical interlude?
The little musical interlude. I'll be honest with you. I was a little lukewarm on it. I know what the idea is, but I kind of it kind of shocked me. You know, sometimes it shocked me out of the groove. I don't know. I was a little lukewarm on it.
Well, you're a very generous man. What's your score, sir?
Well, you know, I think I'll do a 7.5 on that.
Okay, 7.5. All right, Mishka.
I'm not mad at all the vocals. I'm mad at one part. There's one part and it's the wrong note. So he's singing la dee da. He should be singing la dee da. That's the note it should be ending up on, because of all the other groups of vocals that are actually really doing the notes that they should be on. Except for that one note, I freaking love your vocal arrangements. The background vocal arrangements
man.
are really, really great.
Yeah.
But the spoken word part, I would just lose that section. Just like I think we all as songwriters have to edit ourselves, and I think that part just doesn't add anything to the song. It actually takes away to me because it just doesn't seem realistic. You know, it's a little too, either you're going to go fully spoken word and really, really get into it, or it sounds like a rap, but it doesn't sound like a really good rap. So, like we have to learn how to edit ourselves. But I love that you took me to a vibe. I was in a place, but it wasn't a place that's going to give me like an amazing score. I'll give it a 6.
Okay, 6.
But your vocals are great.
All right, Clint, what do you think, sir?
Yeah, especially with the 12 songs. So look, this fat bass drum intro, you know, and then with the horns, it set the mood. So there you go, intro, job done, and then you get this great lead vocal, and perfect for this laneway. And listen, the chorus hook, this rewind, this is so memorable. For the rest of I listened to it earlier today, and I was remembering this song. So job done from a songwriting standpoint. The la-di-da-da-da section when you don't really have lyrics, it's almost like you don't do that once, or it almost like, okay, there's no lyrics and you got to kind of sing in. I really like it. Should it be there? And then listen, I'm just going to call it. Bridges are important. You obviously know that when you wrote it, and then you threw in this little bridge section, and bridges are really hard. And I'm just going to call it was a lazy bridge. So either work it, make it work because it was needed, or I think what Mishka said is get rid of it. I go back. I love the hook. This would play really well live. So I always like to call that out. What happens when you're in an audience? And I think without a doubt, if this was in a live setting, the audience would sing back that chorus with you every time. So my key takeaway on this is a very catchy, grooving, fun, current kind of genre mashup track. It's why it would probably be an alternative track with a great hook line. If you're going to do anything, I think it's what's been mentioned before, is to really hone in and improve the tiny details that I think each one of the panelists have keyed into. And then I really think you've got something here. So I think it's an 8 out of 10 without a doubt for me.
Okay. All right. Clarissa.
I liked the intro. It intrigued me right away. So I like the overall vibe of the song. I thought the vocals are strong. I actually really liked how the strong background vocals came in right away. So that intrigued me even more. I agree with Mishka about the talking part. That kind of like threw me off. It's kind of like out of place in a way. And then it went back to the singing. So either do like kind of like a full rap verse on it or just take it out. I did like the la-di-da-da-da background vocals though, and the layers of vocals and the ad-libs at the end. I think I'll give it a 7.5.
Okay, 7.5. And if I may say, I mean, Guy, that section where you just did the spoken word, sorry, it was a cop-out. It was as if you were given an assignment and you were instructed, this must have a bridge, and you had 1 minute left, and you just threw something in there. And that's how it felt. There is no two ways about it. So listen very carefully. Yeah. Don't ever do that again. All right. Next up, Dave Filchak.
Bridges are hard to do.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be hard. It means you got to take more than 1 minute, okay? Yeah. Here we go. Dave Filchak out of Canada. You're Not Alone.
You feel uneasy, baby. I feel it too. In every moment that your heart is breaking, well, my heart is breaking, baby, and it breaks for you. I know you need someone to hold on to. Let me be the one you hold on to. I will be there. Yes, I will love you forever. know you need someone to hold on to. Let me be the one you hold on to. I will be there, yes, I will love you forever. 'Cause you are the one. Yes, I will love you till the stars don't shine anymore. Yes, I will love you forever. 'Cause you are the one. Yes, I will love you till the stars don't shine anymore. 'Cause you are the one. Baby, you are the one. I will be there. Yeah, I will be there. 'Cause you are the one. Yeah, you are the one. My baby, you are the one.
All right, Mishka, you're up first. What'd you think?
I think his musicianship is on point. It's really, really good, man. Like you guys are killing it in Canada. Musicianship is amazing. The intro, even though it's a little long for my taste, it's because it's musically interesting and you guys are playing so well. It didn't bother me at all. I'll tell you one thing that did bother me, and it's just a pet peeve of mine. And for me, if you're gonna say baby, and then the next time say baby, I want you to pick one and stick with it. And so don't give me some that are baby and some that are baby. It just bugs my ears every time I hear it. And I think you just sound so much cooler when you say baby than when you say baby on your record. But I'm gonna give it a 7 because I think you're really good.
Okay, great. Clint, what do you say?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't pretending to be anything else but what it was, right? It's a rock love song, you know. I mean, again, the intro. I'm glad Mishka said that too, because my notes said too long, but then I put 2 question marks because I listened to it twice and I'm like, well, I kind of liked it, so it didn't. I kept going until I heard the voice. Solid rock voice. Loved it. Solid production. I'm gonna just echo what Mishka said about the musicianship, and the chorus. I'd remember this. I mean, this is because you are the one. It's just such a great simple line. Again, it's not. You didn't invent it. It's been done before. But again, this is what it was, and so I thought it was super strong. And I think this track would also translate live really well. I'm going to give you big kudos for the song length. You told the story economically, even with a little bit what we thought was a long intro, and even with that, it was perfect. I mean, it's great, very well sectioned, well produced, well played, story told. My key takeaway: it's just a solid rock love song with a great chorus hook and some tiny details that kept me in for 104 seconds. I think job well done. 7.5 out of 10. No, 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. Change your mind at the last minute. Okay, Clarissa.
I like the lyrics. They're simple and also relatable. I'm kind of laughing at what Mishka said about the baby and the baby. I agree there, and that's stuff I've learned at artist development classes as well. You got to stick with that same kind of syllable thing. So, I love the lead up to the chorus with the drums. I like a lot of the guitar parts. They're very interesting. I think the chorus is really good, and I just love the whole structure of the song. I think it's really well done. I'm going to give it an 8.
Okay, 8. All right, Kalik.
Yeah, I agree with what everybody else is saying. The same thing with the intro. Right away, it was right at that edge. The intro's too long, but it was interesting and well played enough where it wouldn't be detrimental. But I'd say it would be worth it trying an edit. Just trying an edit and see if you can maybe get to the point a little bit quicker. It might be might make it that much better. But I like the song. It's simple to the point. The messaging is, like I said, it's been done before, but it's done well, and I could see it being done live and all that. Yeah, I would give it a 8.5.
8.5. All right, my only comment, and I'm not a judge, remember. I was hoping for something a little bit more unusual for the chorus. Till the stars don't shine anymore. I think I've heard that maybe 100 times. So you guys have said it. It's been done before. When you're writing a song, just try to get something maybe that I'm not saying you have to reinvent the wheel, but it's something that has been done so many times. So I think that could have been I could think of 4 or 5 other lines that could have been substituted in there that would have been more imaginative, more memorable. So that would be my only takeaway from that song. Let's move to the next. It is Justine Willis out of the United States, and her song is called Ordinary Day. Here we go, Justine.
Through shadows long and twilight deep, show the face of peace and hold me in her keep. Through rolling moon and mossy down, hold safe the one I love when I am not around. Don't ever have to say, 'cause it's just another ordinary day in my life. In robin's red, the morning sky, the sunlight cracks the moon as I am riding by through oceans dark and dolphin blue. Hold fast the one I love till I get home to you. Don't have much to say, and it's just another ordinary day in my life. In my centuries I saw you, fields of time away, and now the fates have brought you, and I am here to stay. Through hazy gold and emerald green, shine the beacon light and let it now be seen. Yeah, through gilding gray and a rosy fair, the light of love for you is now the face I wear. You know it's true, then my heart would be so empty without you in my life. In my
Very good. Clint, you up first, my friend.
Okay, so I'm gonna gush a bit. The voice. Oh, we're gonna hear it again. Perfect. I love her voice. Wonderful voice, such a wonderful tone. I'm just gonna gush a bit because there's 1,000 great singers out there, but sometimes that quality to a voice And again, the production was so sparse; it just let it sit there. Her performance was great, except for one little section. I'll talk about that. So really phenomenal artist voice, and I could listen to you all day long. And if you keep writing songs like that, man, that's good voice like that can record like that. So everything about this was great. That little middle section, the performance, it's almost like if I was in there thinking, yeah, we got to record that a bunch of more times, because it was just, everything was so strong. It just felt out there that Mishka, if was producing, would make it sound amazing, right? So there was that one little part. How she exits the middle section, there was all these little tiny details. I know I talk about that a lot, but they're there. So my key takeaway was, this is a totally wonderful recording voice. It's a super pretty song. Oh yeah, and I got to gush about the lyrics. I mean, I'm not a lyric guy, even though I write poetry, but this is poetry. The lyrics were wonderful. I don't know if I'd change them. They stand alone on paper. So super pretty song. Production, arrangement really matched the vocal. There's so much potential here. I kind of want to say it's one more edit and rethink, and it would be super solid. So 8.5 out of 10 based on the potential.
8.5 is a pretty good mark to start off there. All right, Clarissa, you're next.
I love how the vocals come in right away. Gets me interested from the start. Such a beautiful voice. I think it's like a storytelling voice. I love the melody. I love the piano. I love the lyrics. I think they're so descriptive, and they really paint a picture in my mind. Like when I started reading along, in robin's red, the morning sky, through oceans dark and dolphin blue. It's like, it's
Yes.
poetry. I guess I would say maybe I felt like there were a little bit of timing issues, so just maybe tighten that up a bit more so that everything like falls right into the pocket. But I'm gonna give it a 7. The voice is so beautiful and the storytelling.
Okay, Kalik. Let's see you.
Really love her voice. Her voice is it's mesmerizing. Her voice just made me feel good. And, I'm feeling pretty good. I just got done coaching somebody, and so I'm feeling very generous. The one thing that Clint was talking about, that one section, yeah, I agree with him. I think I don't even know if that section was even needed, but overall, it was a great experience to me. Overall, I love her voice. I love the lyrics. It's just poetry in motion right there. So I'm gonna give it 8.5 too, because I think, yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
8.5. All right, Mishka.
Girl, I'm gonna tell you, you can sing. Straight up, because like really, some of the things that you're doing on this record, to most people when they hear it, it sounds so easy. But I'm a singer, so I'm telling everybody what she's doing is just incredible. I will challenge you on that little musical section going into that into the bridge. I will also challenge you on the word centuries. Had it been me, I would have recut that word, because you just don't hit the note that you're supposed to hit. It just lets the whole thing kind of, like sometimes it's the one little tiny thing that can kind of break the whole story. But what you're doing on this, your lyrics are just, you're dope. Like really love what you did. I'm gonna give you a 9, because I just think you're really, really great. And if you wrote this song, you sang it, don't take anything from anybody when they tell you you can't sing, because you can sing. I'm just telling you straight up.
Well, I loved it. I thought the melody was great. The chord structure got me right away. Beautiful chord structure. I'm going to ask you guys, though, should this song be called Ordinary Day?
No,
good point.
it should be No Ordinary Day, or In My Life, one of the two.
I'm just saying, I'm just an independent observer. And from where I'm sitting, my advice to Justine is you got to change the name of this song. It's not ordinary, but it has a very ordinary title. Great song otherwise. Bad title.
Yeah, good point.
She's great.
All right, the next song we're going to go with is Palace of Leaves. It's the artist, and the song is called Summer of Love.
changing. It's probably clear. It's time for a loving. The revolution is here. I hear the summer breeze talking to the summer trees, and in the distance, St. Louis, the sun and knees, singing to the summer bees, Ooh, let's get back that summer feeling. Ooh, put some flowers in our hair. Ooh, the summer grass is so much sweeter. Ooh, a moment is around. Take me down to the river of chances. Take me down to the water's edge. I perch my soul in the cool blue waters that shines like diamonds in the summer sun. My head is reeling, it's the summer of love. The spirits are rising, skipping over the clouds. Norman is dancing with wind in his hair. It's like nobody's watching, he just doesn't care. I hear the summer breeze talking to the summer trees, and in the distance, St. Louis, the sun and knees, singing to the summer bees, Ooh, let's get back that summer feeling. Ooh, put some flowers in our hair. Ooh, the summer grass is so much sweeter. Ooh, a moment is around. Ooh, summer saves me. Ooh, summer saves me. Let's get back that summer feeling. Ooh, put some flowers in our hair. Ooh, the summer grass is so much sweeter. Ooh, a moment is around.
All right, Palace of Leaves, all the way from the Netherlands. Clarissa, what do you think?
I enjoyed that song. I think the song flowed really beautifully. I love when it started to pick up like pretty soon. Like I think in the maybe the pre-chorus section, it started picking up pretty quickly. I like the vibe and the lyrics of the song. It actually feels like summer, kind of just like swaying along with it. I love all the vocal layers. I think it's really well done. I'm going to give it an 8.5.
8.5 from Clarissa. All right, Khalik.
Okay, yeah, this is yeah, definitely a feel good song. It reminds me of like the old school groups like Friends of Distinction and Fifth Dimension and all them. Very summery type of song. I think it was very well done. There was one part where I don't know if I heard a wrong note in where was it? One of them lyrics came out, but I thought I heard a wrong note in the harmony, and it just kind of threw me. But otherwise, I love the song. I'd give it an 8.5 as well. I think it flows really good. It makes you feel good.
Okay. Okay. Mishka, what do you say?
So when I first started listening to it, in my head, it wasn't really registering. And then the more I listened to it, the more I realized I'd been kind of transported into a different place. by the song. You kind of like it's like you just put me in a whole different place. There are elements of the record that I didn't like on the harmony side, and you kind of downplayed where you could have given us more. I also
Yeah.
feel like it was a little too long. When you go into that little interlude afterward, you probably could have just ended the song there, as far as I'm concerned. But you know, you actually took me to a different place, and I like the vibe you put me in. I like the vibe, so I'm gonna give you 8. Good song
Okay. All right,
and
Clint.
catchy hook.
Okay, I'm going to. I got to give credit where credit dues. Nice, quirky intro with the perfect length. Okay, so we're just going to call it out as a theme we call out all the time. But it was bang, bang, quirky. You guys was like, "What's that?" And bang, I heard your voice, wonderful voice, and bang right into this wonderful vibe. Um, I'm going to talk about this thing. There were some things when you double the vocals and harmonize. I'm going to agree with them all. They were really things that was like, ah. But now I'm going to go backwards. Hardest thing in a song, I think, is a memorable hook, a chorus line. This is a banger. That whole chorus, the summer breeze, summer trees section, it's all dope. It's got such huge potential. That is so hard to do, to have something that have all these panels come away and go, wow, that took me somewhere. We even talked before the show started about what's going to be the summer song. This is the one that if you're sitting out barbecuing or hanging out at the beach or something, it's there. The bridge section, yeah, okay. I think we all talked about it. I think the length of the song, but if you're going to do a bridge, work your ass off, right? I think that was like, you probably could have not done the instrumental, just that little vocal interlude would have been enough. So my key take, this song's got legs, man. And it kind of annoyed me because I'd almost want to work backwards, tear the thing down again with just the chorus and work backwards a bit. But this is a summer sing-along worthy. I think if you took the verses and other sections and toned them down or work them just a tiny bit to set that chorus up, it's got massive potential. So because of that chorus, 8.5, because I still remember it, and I think that is worthy of 8 point because of the chorus.
Yeah, I think it was a good song. I think it had too many parts. I think it was too long. I think that spot in the middle where the interlude, I think that was the end of the song. I totally agree with Mishka. I love the interplay of words, Eloise on her knees, a lot of these inner rhyming within the line. Very, very clever use of the English language for probably somebody for whom English is a second language. How ironic is that, huh? Okay, so let's move to the next song.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Who is Norman?
Well, who's Eloise was my question, but I figured the two of them know each other. Let's just leave it at that. All right, this one is Make Away from FX Music from the United States.
Quincy, FX Music.
Gotta make a way.
Let's go.
Ain't no sunshine in the nighttime, but there's bright skies when the sun rises. If you search hard, then you might find what you wanted and no surprises. You ain't gotta wait, go get it. You ain't gotta waste another minute. What you want is yours. We gon' make a way. We gon' make a way. I fast forward to a better day. Said you know we gon' make a way. We gon' make a way. We gon' make a way. Make a way. We gon' make a way. Make a way, fast forward to a better day, or to a better day. You know we gon' make a way, know we gon' make a way, we gon' make a way. Might feel like it's over, feels like the world's on your shoulder. Then you get a little closer. You can feel it taking over, cause you're in control, yeah, you got it. Made up your mind, ain't no doubting. It's your time to shine like a diamond, yeah. You ain't gotta wait, go get it. You ain't gotta waste the night. another minute. What you want is yours. We gon' make a way. Yeah, hold up. We gon' make a way. Yeah, you know we gon' make a way forward to a better day. Oh yeah, yes, you know we gon' make a way. Know we gon' make a way. We gon' make a way. Make a way. We gon' make a way. Yeah. We gon' make a way. Make a way. Fast forward to a better day. Forward to a better day. You know we gon' make a way. Know we gon' make a way. We gon' make a way. Yeah, we gon' make a way. Something out of nothing. Won't stop till we get there. Yeah, we gon' make a way. Something out of nothing. Won't stop till we get there. We gon' make a way. We gon' make a way. Fast forward to a better day. But you know we gon' make a way. We gon' make a way. Yeah, we gon' make a way. We gon' make a way. Make a way. Know we gon' make a way. Fast forward to a better day. Oh yeah, that you know we gon' make a way. Know we gon' make a way. We gon' make a way.
Make a Way by FX Music. All right, Khalik, what say you, my friend?
Okay, yeah, I like the general vibe of it. The one thing that I think for me, I like it, but I was looking for some standout moments. It's kind of like I wanted to hear something develop a little bit more as it went on, because I can tell that the singers that are in there, they got some good creative things going on and everything. But I think somebody, like a Mishka or whoever that are vocal producers would push them a little bit more. It could make something a little more interesting, because it's kind of all got the same after you heard one thing. To me, it's like I didn't hear anything more special. But I like the vibe. I like where it put me. I like the quality of what's going on in there, the simplicity. I'll give it a 7.5 on that as well.
Okay, 7.5 it is. Mishka.
I think I probably feel a little differently about this record than you guys, but I'll tell you what. For me, number one, your hooks are too long. They're double the length that they should be. Your first hook, because here's something you got to think about when you're writing and when you're producing a record. So for me, this song, you hit us with the harmonies halfway into the hook the first time. You should hit us with those harmonies from the top of that hook. You shouldn't be taking your time, because people don't have enough. People don't have an attention span to wait that long. So your hooks are double the length that they should be. Your bridge is double the length that it should be. But I love the singer, and I think this singer, Quincy, bro, you definitely have a future. You definitely have a future in writing. Because I think what you wrote is so close to like a real big record. You could be writing for anybody right now. I'm going to tell you, there's one note that bugged the heck out of me, and it's the word "there" when you do the higher "get there," and you hit the exact same note when you do "get there." But when you hit there, you're going sharp, and I don't think it's your fault. I think auto-tune is tricking you. I think auto-tune has just pitched you up, and somebody needs to pay attention to that, because bro, you're money.
Yeah.
But just figure out structure, because really that's the only thing to me that's wrong with this record, is that those hooks are just too long. The bridge is just too long, and it makes it feel like you're taking a lot longer to get there, and you are, because the song's too long. But even having said that, I'm still giving you a 9.
Very good. All right. Clint, sir, what do you say?
I love the intro as an artist commercial, so I just got to call that out. I think that was really kind of cool. It's like right here, I'm the name of the artist. That's my intro. Here comes the groove. So I'm gonna go with Mishka. This guy, this voice again. I'm gonna gush a bit. They don't come along well, but that voice. I don't know how old you are, where you are, but man, that's just such good singing. That is such a nice voice that sits in the mix. I'm also gonna call out the production a bit. I thought that although it was too long and potentially some of the structure was. I love the bass lines. There was a lot of taste. There was somebody behind the helm there that was stuff, especially at the beginning. And then I'm really going to go into this thing, what I call harmonic continuum or continuo, right? When you have the same harmonic structure that repeats and repeats and repeats. I know it's super in, but your chorus hooks were good. But when you have that harmonic continuum, I'm just going to read it. It's so tough to sustain and engage ears when that's happening, when that structure repeats. You got to even be so much on top of structure, adding space, drops, something to break it up. And I think that totally kind of accentuates what Misko is saying. And there, you know, there needs to be a real effort to adding a variety of details, both large and tiny. I know this is in, and I know it's kind of what people are doing, but I actually had to concentrate to stay inside the track for 144 seconds. So I'm calling it, so I said 144 seconds. It should have been 90 seconds, or maybe 105 seconds. So my key takeaway, this is a couple sharp edits away from a really dope track and artist. So for that, right, there's enough to cut down. It's harder to build out than to cut down. 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. All right. Clarissa, you're the last one.
Love the vibe, like a slow jam. I love the vocals. The hook's really good. I agree with Mishka to like cut it down. I thought it just kind of dragged out a bit too long, cutting that in half. Love the harmonies, the backup vocals. I also thought the bridge was long, but I did like how he sung the bridge. Like when he repeated it, he sung it differently. I like how the song ended, like just with the vocals at the end. I'm going to give it an 8.
8.
Just cut the hook in half.
Okay. My only comment for this song is you really could have done this a little bit more contrast with the sections and a little bit more, I think, harmonic development. Throwing a different chord section in there. I thought you could have done that. All right, we're going all the way to Hungary to Dico Barta, who's got a song called Encounters. Here we go.
Mikor először láttalak, rózsa voltam egy ringóágon, remegve hajoltam harcodhoz. Szakíts le engem, csak erre vágyom. Elhajtottad az utadból az ágat, kezedre hult a könnyed. Te harmatnak vélted, letörölted, észre sem vettél, ott hagytál engem. Ott hagytál engem. Mikor másodszor láttalak, pillangó voltam egy tarka réten, fény villant szemedben, s már futottál is, hisz engem kutattál, kerestél régen, de felre repültem én a kéklő égbe. Csalódott arcodat még egyre láttam. Oly jó volt nékem szenvedésed látni, s nevettem hangtalan lepkek kacagással. Lepkek kacagással. Lepkek kacagással. S tegnap újra találkoztam véled, lányalakban kerültem eléd. Szaladtál velem, már elértél, de bosszút esküdt ellenünk az ég. Sűrű fehér köd szakadt a tájról, s nem láttam már kedves alakod. Csak hangot szólt még hívogatom, de hiába feleltem, itt vagyok. De többé már nem talál a célra. Ragyognak felettem a csillagok, a földön hiába szállt fel a köd. Hideg az bűr, s én egyedül vagyok. Én egyedül vagyok. Én egyedül vagyok.
Okay. Wow, Mishka, you're up first, my friend.
Okay. Il Doca. I freaking love your voice. It's just freaking beautiful. Really, you just like, but I'm gonna tell you, because I love your voice so much, it annoys me even more that it took 32 seconds to get to it. That intro again is just way too long, and I'll tell you, because I felt like I know I could do this. I actually edited the damn thing down to 6 seconds where it sounded perfect. So to me, you're gonna have to figure out a way to just edit those, make these edits, cut the intro. Like, I know if for producers, sometimes you want to hear what you did, and you want to accentuate what you did, but the key in this is the song, and she is just dreamy, just a freaking dreamy vocal. And I know last time we heard her in English, and now that I hear her in her native tongue, I'm just like, oh my gosh, she's just a beautiful singer. The song, you're also a great poet, so beautiful on that side. I'm gonna give you A because you're really, really great. But please cut down the intros.
Okay, Clint.
Okay, so yeah, I had the same thing. The intro is beautiful, very pretty. It set the mood, but wait, it was way too long. Okay, so I'm gonna echo what Mishka said. This is all pro, man. I mean, not only is her voice beautiful, her performance is off the wall, and I absolutely adored the Hungarian language. I didn't understand it, but I immediately sensed longing and love without even knowing the words, and that means something. I love the space that the producer left. So when we get past the intro and those type of things, but There was so much restraint on space, on what we don't put in as opposed to what was in, that simply let the story be told by that voice, right? So there was a story being told in a language, and I didn't understand the language, but I understood the story musically the whole way through. So the mix has got to give me a little bit of a check mark for the restraint to have that top line just be there. I thought the variation, the sectional variation, the arranging, I think this was stunning. This, as it slowly builds to the end. I mean, it was just this creep right to the end. And I really had 4 words. I said haunting, beautiful, sad, emotive. And my key takeaway was this: a wonderful, haunting, beautifully sung story with emotion all around. You can feel the music, and that is what good songwriting is all about. And as much as I know this isn't pop and this isn't that, it is about songwriting. 9 out of 10 based on that.
Excellent. Clarissa.
The intro, yeah, it was long, but it was mysterious and haunting, which intrigued me. So I still liked it, but yes, it was long. The voice is absolutely gorgeous. I love the minimal production. It really makes the vocals shine. I love the storytelling. I was actually reading along with the English lyrics. So, but the song is a bit long for my taste, but I actually really enjoyed the entire thing because of the vocals and the lyrics. It was beautiful. I'm going to give it an 8.5.
8.5. All right, Khalid, gotta bring it home.
I mean, I echo the same thing when I first heard the intro. You know, I kept virgin. Oh, okay, here we go with the long intros again. But it was interesting musically and all that. But I'm like, the intro's too long. But I absolutely knew once I heard her voice, I was like, oh, chop that intro down and get right to her voice immediately. Her voice is amazing. It is haunting.
Beautiful.
It is mesmerized. I mean, I was sucked in, and she never let me go. She never let me go. Once she had me, I was wrapped in. And there was one part towards the end. So like Clarissa said, the song gets a little long. So when there was a little break where I thought it was going to end and then it kicked back up again. So I thought it was too long until she started getting back into it again. I was like, okay, no, I'm good with it. So I give it a 9 out of 10 as well because her voice was amazing. The restraint in the production. I kept thinking, okay, well, maybe, but no, it doesn't need any. I mean, it's just so minor, man. It's 9 out of 10.
It's all pro. It's all
9
pro.
out of 10. Excellent. Listen, this song here, this is the first time I'm hearing it. I think it's a 9.5 out of 10. I take away a half for the long intro. I love the ending. I love the chord structure. The chord structure surprised me. So it's like, wait a minute, did they go there? And I'm waiting for them to go there, and then they went there again. So it's like, oh, so you got me going there. Now where are you going to go next? And the build up, and for everybody watching this, okay, learn. The build up at the end, that climactic kind of vocal crescendo. If you could put 1/10 of that in your song, you know what? You don't even need us, okay? You can just go off and make a lot of money. But I'm telling you guys, the contrast that you're seeing here, the skill, the musical development that you're witnessing here, you go back and watch this. If you can get about half of this into your music, you're miles ahead of the average person that's out there, okay? Just remember I said that. All right, next we got Katherine Duke. This is an instrumental, so I don't know how we're going to judge this one. No lyrics, but let's listen to her. She's all the way from Australia. Clint, you're up, my friend. What do
Wow,
you think?
another two intro long. I really wish it was a Yamaha RX-7 drum machine throughout, but what can I say? It was very 80s, right? Which is kind of cool. I mean, it's kind of cool right now, the 80s thing. And look, the production was there. Everything sits where it's supposed to be. But now I'm just going to be constructive. When you do a production like this and you're using drum machines and using drum loops and stuff like that, and when you verbatim repeat these exact patterns, it's not upfront, but it's super subconscious to the listener, which really becomes this thing where when you have this type of instrumental, for every track that's a real musician playing from beginning to end, it always elevates. So it really has to be hard work that if you know your melodies and everything that you're doing as far as the top line stuff, that rhythm section stuff, you got to be super, super conscious of it. And it's the tiny details in the drumsticks. You know, you added percussion to give me some spice, but the drums kept repeating and I couldn't get out of it. So look, I'm just going to say it's super hard with an able to keep a listener's attention, and those tiny details and sectional variation, harmonic surprises are such key ingredients, right? And the other is to have super strong real musicians. And if you're replacing musicians with stuff in production, we can do this. You got to be super detailed so that you almost want to fool me that it's not a drum machine. You want to make it that way. So my key takeaway, look, this is very Vangelis. It's a cool 80s movie soundtrack vibe, which I think is super fun. So for what it was, I'm just going to say it like it is. I think it's fine. 7 out of 10 with those constructive criticisms put in.
Okay. All right, Clarissa.
I love the overall vibe of the song. I think to me it sounds dreamy and hopeful. You know, when you can picture something in your mind when you're listening to a song, I could see someone running through a big open field, feeling free. I like the movement of it, but would have liked more variation in the rhythm. And I would be very interested in hearing some vocals over this track. I'm going to give it a 7.5.
Okay, 7.5. All right, Khalik.
I just from a engineer point of view, listening to this, you got some hooks. There's a lot of instrumental hooks in there, so you want your hooks to be very clear and apparent. And what's happening is whatever kind of patch you're using, you've got a lot of different patches that are stacking up with a lot of reverbs, delays, and everything. So you're getting this big mid-range wash. So I would look into clearing up that wash, cutting out some of those low, because you got that, but there's a reverb and delay on it that's making it carry over into each other note. So you're getting these dissonant notes that are right on top of each other. So it's kind of messing things up. There's an ostinato pattern playing in the back that I heard it, but you can't really even make it out that it's back there. And like other people were saying, other colors coming in, you know, just like if live musicians were playing, they'd be playing off of each other. You know, you've got everything too much here. I clear out some of that mid, and I give it a 7.
7. All right. Mishka, it's down to you, my friend.
So let me ask you a question, Ray. Am I wrong, or is this the exact same track that was submitted last time?
It was, but I don't think we got to it in the live side.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So to me, I kind of feel like this record is on a track side. I really, really like it. It definitely does kind of transport you to like a Vangelis kind of vibe. It's dope. But I kind of feel like for me, I'd like to hear a vocal on top of it. Or, you know, the guitarist who's playing is actually really good.
Yep.
Like, let him
Very good
solo,
guitarist.
let him speak to us. You know, let him speak to us on that guitar so we get a little bit more instead of just something that's, you know, it's a little too simple and a little too safe for me. So I'm gonna give it a 7.
7. Yeah, I just found this track. To me, it was a solution in search of a problem. I didn't understand what the point was. I was waiting for some big, very obvious instrumental motif to take control of the song, and to be honest, it never did. It just passed around the hat. Everybody had their turn. It's kind of like Little League. Everybody gets to pitch. You don't win like that, okay, guys? All right, next song is Zong out of Hong Kong. Song is called "Girls Like to Look at Other Girls' Girls." It's a lot of girls in one one title.
Girls in pearls and plurals, okay? Yo, you gotta get the pronunciation right. Yo, hey. Girls like to look at other girls, girls. Girls like to look at other girls, girls. Hey, girls like to look at other girls, girls. Girls like to look at other girls, girls. Hey, girls like to look at other girls, girls. Girls like to look at other girls, girls. Hey, girls like to look at other girls, girls. Girls like to look at other girls, girls. Hey, girls in pearls and plurals, they furl, they join my world. Together we're swirl. Girls in pearls and plurals, they furl, they're on my world. Together we're a troll. You. Girls like to look at other girls, girls. You. Girls like to look at other girls, girls. Hey, girls like to look at other girls, girls. Girls like to look at other girls, girls. Hey, girls like to look at other girls, girls. Girls like to look at other girls, girls. Hey, girls like to look at other girls, girls. Girls like to look at other girls, girls. Hey, girls like to look at other girls, girls. Girls like to look at other girls, girls. Hey, girls, y'all don't care about the man, y'all care about the can and compete with your friends. Hey, girls, hey baby, don't pretend y'all care fashion trends. Yeah, you don't wanna plan. Hey, girls, y'all don't care about the rent, you care about events. You looking fabulous. Hey, girl, you looking made to win 100%. You looking president. Hey, you. Girls like to look at other girls, girls. You. Girls like to look at other girls, girls. Hey.
There's something special about 'em. The way they wear and sparkle like gems. Broken down, but don't cry. To get back up again. Tell me who can fly like her. Tell me who can shine like her. Tell me who can bring a song into this world like her. Touch you how to love like her. Aquarius, a Leo, and a Taurus. Doesn't matter who she is. Stars in the sky aligned on purpose. When she stepped into our presence, heaven sent. There's something special about 'em. There's something special about 'em.
Girls like to look at other girls, girls. Girls like to look at other girls, girls. Hey, girls like to look at other girls, girls. Girls like to look at other girls, girls. Hey, girls like to look at other girls, girls. Girls like to look at other girls, girls. Hey, girls like to look at other girls, girls. Girls like to look at other girls, girls. Hey.
Oh my Lord. Okay, I'm gonna get Clarissa, you out first. And I don't envy you.
That is a very interesting track. Very repetitive, but I find it very fun. I just have to say this. I think it would be an incredible TikTok trend. Besides that, I was gonna say it needs more variation in like production wise until it completely flipped to that verse with the female vocal, which is actually my favorite part. It sounds like two different songs, but it's like strangely catchy. I feel something, but I don't know what it is. I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give it a 7.5. It's just very interesting. I don't really. Yeah.
Khalik, what do you say, sir?
Is it wrong for me to like this song? I gotta tell you, I was
No, it's
looking at
not wrong.
Clarissa's.
It'll just be your last time on the show. That's all.
Yeah, right. I was looking at Clarissa's face, and she was just smiling, and she kept looking. Let's face it, it's not artistic creativity as far as songwriting, lyrics, or whatever. But I can see this. I can see this being a club banger or something that people just having fun with it. It was just fun to me. But I would love to hear the actual girl part come in earlier because she just set it off, and it was just fun to me. It was different. When I first heard this, to me, the creativity. I like the track. The track had some different creative elements. It felt good and everything. But yeah, it's not an artistic highbrow kind of thing. But I smiled, So I'm gonna give it a 8.5. Actually, I like that.
8.5. All right. Mishka, what do you say, my friend?
Bro, you gonna be kicking me off this thing because this kid, he's dope.
Yep.
Zong, I'm just gonna let you know, man. Zong, you're on to something. You gave, like, to me, I really feel like this kid is, 10 years before anybody knew who Pharrell was. That's who this kid is. And that's it. If this kid continues, that's who this kid's gonna be. Because he's in a different place,
Yep.
and to me, what he's talking about, like, it's true. It's true, and because we all know it's true, it just hit me with this, just like he's found something that nobody else is even talking about, but he's picking it up. So to me, you're in a different place. The transition between the two parts of the song is a little bit weird. I really love her by herself. I don't even know whether you need her. Like, I think you could have just done another verse of yourself, maybe with a dip, a little bit more tempo in your pocket. But I think you're onto something, kid. I'm giving you a 9 because I really think, like, trust me, Ray. This is Pharrell in 6 years if he keeps it up.
Wow. Okay, Zong, I hope you're listening over there in Hong Kong. It's like what? Yeah, it's early in the morning. You should be up 8:30. Okay, Clint.
Okay, so look, I'm just gonna say it. Okay, so this was a super creative stuff, and I love authenticity, so I'm gonna echo what Mishka was saying. And man, it was just hooky right off the top. There's some really creative groove elements in the arrangement, putting together beats like nobody's doing, and that shit just turned me on, man. Like, oh man, that's a really cool groove, man. Little dobro over this, over that. Like, oh my God, what's he using? What samples is he using? Look, careful of this harmonic continuum again. This whole repetitive stuff. This is a repetitive track, but you can use super, super, super kind of Max Martin, tricky, tiny detail stuff to trick people to keep going. But again, this was hooky from the top to the bottom. The middle section, where'd that come from? I'm still so confused. It's another song. I mean, it was such a big contract. I almost felt like, what's that for? But the third time I listened to it, I'm like, okay, do it, but only do it for 8 bars. Just tiny, like just in and out, or get rid of it. So I'm still so confused about that middle section. Look, it's hooky as shit, but repeated over and over, everything eventually numbs the ear. So this is my key takeaway. Super creative groove, a definitive, authentic vibe with catchy stuff all over the place. The middle section is still confusing me, but if there's some edit and some attention to adding details, this could be sick. 8 out of 10.
8 out
Simply
of 10.
because I'm confused at that middle section.
Well, the middle section sounded like somebody changed the channel. Like when you listen to radio and you flip to another radio station and you flip back, that's what it really sounded like. But I honestly, I don't feel qualified to comment on this song. It was out there. Okay. So although I'm not ever speechless, here I am. Mum. Nothing to say. The next song is Bella Tampa, again out of Hungary. 2 Hungarians tonight. Bella Tampa. Kalik. So you're up. What say you?
Okay, I mean, it wasn't bad, but it didn't go anywhere for me. It was kind of like, when somebody first gets a DAW or something like that, and they just kind of pull in all the different loops and try to see what can be done and stack in there. I kept waiting for a memorable theme. I came up at a time when instrumentals were out there. The Herbie Hancock's thing. Like you could actually still sing the melodies, even if they were an instrumental. You had something memorable, and I kept waiting for one theme to just tie it together, but I never really got it. So, for me, it's like a 6.5.
6.5. Mishka?
So I grew up in a record store that kind of catered to jazz lovers, urban lovers, gospel lovers. So I've listened to a lot of jazz in my life, and to me, if this is trying to get there, you got to go in a little harder. And the thing is, like the one thing I am getting from this is that Hungary has some great musicians. The musicianship is great, but the song is 4 minutes long. At 152, you introduce this da da bum 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 bum, right? But that thing keeps on going till the end of the song. And to me, you're just too good to have that same melody playing all the way through. And it just got so monotonous that I didn't want to hear it anymore. So I'm gonna give it a 5, even though you're really some badass musicians.
All right,
Guitar
Clint.
player's killing.
I mean, you had a trombone in the intro, even though I think it was a sample. So you had me there since it's a trombone sitting over there. So fun groove. I mean, the mix needs some work, by the way. So I have a studio where I have a sub on a mono out, so I can have it separate from my speakers. So I can crank the sub, and there's some real bad low energy humming down there. So I'm just going to say that there's some mixed stuff. It's not a thing to put the song. It's a fun song. I can really hear the samples, and so I really want to hear real instruments, and that probably got me a bit when you're playing stuff and you repeat it, you cut, copy, paste, and keep going, right? So it's okay. I mean, I think really my key takeaway is it's a fun instrumental track. I think what Kalik was saying about you just got a DAW and you're kind of doing your thing, doing it and putting some stuff down. But I think with some arrangement tweaks, some of the things Mishka was saying, some little attention to the detail, this would be super fun live with real players. So if this was played with real players, cut down about 60%, and again, the musicianship was theirs. So if you really cut and arranged it, and I guarantee you, if you wrote these charts out and put it in front of real musicians, one rehearsal in, you'd have that thing carved up and you'd have new parts the next rehearsal and the thing would pop. So I think there's some good DNA here. There's some great musicianship, but for that, I'm going to give it a 6.5 because it's really at the beginning when it hasn't been developed to the end.
Okay. All right, Clarissa.
I mean, I like the vibe of the track and the movement of the track. It makes me want to get up and dance, and I don't dance, so I love how in the beginning you let each instrument shine, but then it just got really repetitive for me with that one melody. That's still in my head, though. I did enjoy it overall. I'm going to give it a 7, though.
7. Okay. With this song, I'm gonna just say, remember, I'm not a judge, right? I'm just an independent contractor. When you go on a plane, and then the plane starts up, the engine starts to roar, and then when the plane takes off, the engine really starts to roar, and it's very loud. But about 5, maybe 7, 8 minutes into the flight, you don't hear it anymore. Because you've experienced what we call sensory adaptation. And if you have a piece of music that basically doesn't change for a certain amount of time, you would experience exactly the same thing. So please remember that, okay? All right, let's go to the next one. Future One, out of the United States. The song is called Sunny Day.
that separated us from our all. And my need goes to comfort you. Will keep us one, just us two. Sunny day, reflections that smile and say hello, love. And will you lay alone with me? There'll be a time when a monster calls. It's not after you. Do not fall for it. And if you try to make a fool of the monster, it will shy away too. Sunny day, reflections that smile and say hello, love. And will you lay alone with me? Sunny day, reflections that smile and say hello, love. And will you lay alone with me?
Oh, come on. Still going?
Okay, future one out of the United States. Mishka, you up first, my friend.
Oh my goodness. I have to be first? Yo, 43 seconds to get to a vocal? Come on, guy. Like, because here's the
There's
thing.
two intros.
I really believe, but the total of it, 43 seconds. That's too freaking long. It's it's too long when you bring in a new part at the end of the song that just. But when I finally hear it, I'm like, oh, really? More? Like that's not the effect you want to put on people. For me, I kind of feel like just on a song level, it's a fine song. I think there is way too much tuning on your vocal for me. I'm gonna give it a 5.
Give it a 5. Okay. All right, Clint.
Okay, so you had 2 intros. I don't need to go into that. I mean, you don't need it. There was 2 intros, this stuff. So listen, I'm going to look, this is some songcraft stuff needs to be worked on here. We know this. So I'm going to start with the positives. So look, I really think there's a quality to his voice. I think it's really authentic, right? There's something Dylan-esque. There's something about him. So the quality of the voice should dictate where the songwriting goes. So it's almost like, so I really keyed in on, I think that this guy's got some authentic quality to that voice being some kind of artistic voice developed. I definitely want some more freedom in how he performed. It just felt like you were just trying to make no mistakes. I almost want to hear you do a vocal take and make a shit ton of mistakes, and I might even hear more of what I'm hearing. So Say Hello Love, that little hook was kind of cool. The production feels very MIDI, I call it, right? Little lip too repetitive. Now, the strange thing is, all of a sudden I get to this end, and then I've got this super interesting piece, and I just said to myself, God, why isn't that part of the song? Right? All of a sudden, you take that vocal quality, that ending harmony piece, and I'm like, wow, man. So it really came down to this. It's actually got some interesting potential as a song. It's really in the pencil stage. You got to be heavy on the tonal details in the production, way more free vocal performance. Man, and explore using that ending section as the song. So all this stuff, I think this is, there's some real big potential here, but some work needs to be done across the board. Great voice, 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10. All right, Clarissa.
All right, it's a given that the intro is too long. I knew we would all say that. I gotta say though, he has a very distinct voice and style. I remember this artist from the last time with a different song. I think he has a cool storytelling voice. I like the way that the song made me feel while listening. Like it made me feel relaxed, at ease. But there wasn't really any part of the song that hooked me, unfortunately. I think I would like to hear a little more repetition in the chorus section so that it's more memorable and separates it from the verses. And the instrumental part and the ooze at the last bit of the song, it was nice, but it was far too long. I'm going to give it a 6.
Okay, 6. And Khalik?
Yeah, I mean, we all know it. To have an intro to the intro, it was just too much for me. I measured 44 seconds. And it's like, wait, what's going on? Now, I like the hook. I'm a little confused. Is this Paul Magliari or Future One is the song, or Future or One is the artist, and Sunny Day is the song? I'm not clear on that. And
Song's
then,
Future One.
The song is Future One. Okay.
Oh, it's switched up, is it?
Yeah,
I have it as Sunny Day as the song, and Future One is the artist.
That makes it more sense. Now I see it says on the page, it says Paul Magliari is the artist. It says song Future One. And then when we get into the lyrics, it's changed up. But anyway, so sort that out, dude. And everything. But the intro thing, big problem. I like the hook. He's got an interesting voice, so development, like everybody said, you got to just dig in a little bit more. The ending was way too long. I didn't really get it. It's kind of nice on its own, but to me, it didn't do anything for me because it extended an extended period anyway that I was ready to end. So I'm gonna give it. I usually never do this too, but I got to give it like a 5.5.
5.5. All right, my take on this song. This is exactly who could benefit from this. What we're doing right here. This is what this is almost for, okay? You have somebody that has to figure out, number one, who you're writing the song for. You're writing it for yourself, because if you're writing a song for yourself that you're going to sing in the shower, it really doesn't matter what you do. You can do anything you want. But you have to ask yourself, are you writing this for the public? Now, if you are going to write it for the public, then you have to take the public's taste into considerations, the public's behavior into consideration. So if we know we have a body of literature that's already been compiled for decades on how the public tends to behave, and you're going to ignore all that and still write the song just for yourself, then maybe we can't help you. But I think I'm very hopeful that we can help you. You probably also could benefit from a collaborator. I think if you have a second person in this room with you who could write together, maybe you guys could debate and maybe come to better outcomes. But again, if you keep watching and you keep sending in your songs, I think you can learn a lot, because a lot of what's said here today, I think would help you. But you definitely have to start to study the craft of songwriting. Okay, anybody could bake a pizza, but there's some people could make some really, really good pizza, okay? So that comes from years of study and refining and trial and error. And yes, you're at the very, very basic level in terms of your writing a song. And if you read a little bit, study a little bit more about songwriting, I think you in 1 year, the kind of songs you're going to be resubmitting here are going to be light years ahead of what you got now. Okay, so be hopeful. This is exactly why we're doing this. And now we're down to the last song. The last song is by Justine Serrano out of the United States of America. Here we go.
Woke up in a strange place, some Nirvana high. Weird, my guitar's here by my side. I remember a bright light, took a step and then I ascended a stairway to heaven. And there at the top, a man dressed all in white said, "Welcome, I see it's your big night. You're playing in the big city. No greater stage on the planet or above it. So good, can't hardly stand it. It's time to play for the inhabitants. Lifetime event, center stage in the big city." Brought here for a purpose, a gig in paradise. They said, "Yeah, you've got the chops. That's the reason why. You've heard of the king of pop and of rock and roll. Today I will be playing for the king of souls." They wanted the best. Oh yes, I will impress. Turn me loose, my axes at your service. I'm playing in the big city. No greater stage on the planet or above it. So good, can't hardly stand it. It's time to play for the inhabitants. Lifetime event, center stage. Here I go. Come on, kick it in on the bass drum, yeah. That's right, grab the book, let it ring like the gospel of the good book. Oh, well, what do you know? Rock and roll is what to play when the time comes for rolling stones away. Now who knew you can jam in the ground with an angel band, shredding for the big man. I'm playing in the big city. No greater stage on the planet or above it. So good, can't hardly stand it. It's time to play for the inhabitants. Lifetime event, center stage in the big city. Yeah. What excitation playing for my salvation today.
All right. Clint, you're up first, my friend.
Yeah. So, quick rock intro, right in verse 1. So, look, this guy can flat out sing. It's a thing, right? So I find it extremely rare to have a voice that can pull off being a rock frontman. They're rare cut. It's hard to do. I don't care if it's a rock front woman or front man. It's just that genre. It's like, you know, either you're doing hard R&B, or that is the next one. It's like really hard to do. I think this guy's got it. I mean, that voice, you know, and again, if he just, and he can play guitar because he's obviously a guitar player, so he's a bit of a shredder too. So that combination is a rare thing, and I just got to tip my hat to it. The phrasing, I'm wondering about a little bit of the phrasing and the inflection stuff. I think if Mishka sat down and he'd say, "Listen, just sing it because you can frickin' sing, so just sing." And there are some places where it felt like you were singing in staccato when I really thought it should be legato and really just stretch it out as a rock singer. The mix threw me off a bit. It was really funny because in my studio, It really felt weird. And when I played it loud, it felt weird. But funny, coming over the internet, kind of in this situation, the mix felt good. So it probably felt good in earbuds. The mix probably was mixed for earbuds. But that's one of the dangers of mixing. You got to mix for a variety of places to find that sweet spot. Great guitar tone. Bass playing was solid. Love the middle section. I mean, it's really almost really nice riff heavy rock song. My key takeaway was simply this, man. It's a very respectable rock song with a very respectable lead vocal, with very respectable playing across all the band. The mix is balanced for me, but something was missing. I don't know, might be mastering. But hey, man, it is what it is. 7.5.
7.5. Very good. Clarissa.
I didn't expect the song to sound like it did, like in a good way. I got hard. It was rocking. I love the guitar. I love the bass line. I love the confident lyrics. The vocals are really strong. I feel like the drums could pop out a bit more, or like sound more crisp. They kind of sounded a bit dull or muffled in a way. But I'm gonna give it a 7.5. I think it was rocking. It was cool.
7.5. Khalik.
I think there's a lot of potential in here. To me, it sounded small. This is a guitar song, and to me, I think it would benefit if the guitar sounded bigger. You know, put it next to guitar bands. I don't know, AC/DC or something like that. They got them distorted guitars, wide and big. When it gets to the chorus, big city, you want it to feel bigger. It kind of felt a little too even and a little too small to me, where it seems like it could have gotten a little bigger. So maybe experiment with your tone, but your playing sounds good. Your tone is good. I don't know if this is going through actual guitar amps or guitar amp simulators. It sounds like simulators to me. It doesn't sound like it's pushing air like it needs to. But if it was pushing air, then just work on the mix a bit to get it a little beefier, especially when you go into the chorus, because it feels like they're too connected. Like, I want to feel the big city chorus expand and get a little bit bigger, and play it next to some other stuff that's like that. I'll give it a 7.5 too.
7.5. And Mishka, man, how do you draw the last card tonight, man? How do you get so lucky?
I don't know, man. So I'm gonna tell you, Justin. To me, I think the vocal, the guitars are great, the song is great, but to me, the vocal is too clean. I just feel like that vocal is just too. It's sung in such a dramatic way that I almost feel like it needs to have something to dirty it up a little bit. And to me, what a lot of us use is, I'm not going to be, I don't want to have to plug a plug-in, but Sound Toys Decapitator, just the touch will do it. And it will just add just a little bit of distortion to it so it doesn't feel so clean, because it just feels, to me, that vocal is just too clean for a rock record like this. As many rock groups as I played with, you got to have a little bit of edge, and I feel like the vocal's just too clean. So, but I'm going to give you a 7.
7. My feeling on this song, it was not poetic enough. I think there's some very awkward phrases and words in there. I find this to be very difficult to sing along to. I think only you can sing this. And there's a lot of words, and big words and awkward words and double time and half time, and you're just trying to make it all fit in there. So, but otherwise, I thought it was a pretty good song. So we're done. We'll listen to all of them, and we do have a winner. Maybe we have a drum roll. Actually, we have no drums here. Everything is electronic. The winner is Dico Barta, all the way from Hungary, with a score of 34.5. And what do you guys think?
Well,
I think there were only 3 or 4 who were in the running for the top for me, and I thought as soon as I heard her, she was there.
Mm-hmm. I think Ray, it's another thing for me is the importance of harmonic structure. It's an art from the old songbook era that was dear to every writer, and chord structure. It's just, for whatever reason, in popular music, we've gone to this very simple kind of chord structure. There's an artist out there named Lizzie McAlpine, and she's brand new and young, and her theory of chords is unbelievable. So to me, what made that song work was the harmony, and that you could build from that, and how important harmonic structure is, or interesting harmonic structure, when writing a song to put emotion on top of.
And the melody. The melody was awesome, and the dynamics of the song, the way the song ended, and the crescendo. It was a home run at the end, and it kept you going. Her voice was great.
Just a
Gorgeous.
voice is
Killer.
amazing.
Voice is beautiful. What do you guys think in the
All
chat?
pro.
Come on now. What do you guys think of the winner? Let me see you guys put in something in the chat. Otherwise, we can't end this thing. And I am hungry.
No, I gotta go record. So.
Hey, look,
I'm feeling like a
we
burger.
shouldn't be so nice. So somebody said in the comments we shouldn't be so nice next time. I mean,
Well,
that's the thing, right?
well, we're Canadian, no, aren't we? I want to.
Sorry.
Well, we got two Americans on here too, so Kalik and Mishka.
It's
Are you
always
gonna
about
say,
being
Clarissa?
Constructive.
The other thing I
agree
want to
with
talk
that.
about, there was that one song, is the separation of song and tracks. This is the thing for me. Like that song from the Korean Kid, both Mishka and I heard it. It wasn't a great song, but could have been a dope track. There's a difference for me, these hooky tracks that aren't based on traditional songwriting. So there's a counter there. So again, I think they both have value in our world of popular music, right? So I think that's maybe what we heard that you didn't hear, Ray, that we just heard a really good hooky track, which is different than a really well-written song.
Okay.
Well said.
All right. Well, thank you guys very much. Thanks for tuning in, guys. And we'll see you all 1 month from now. We have another batch of songs. And you guys keep writing this music, keep sending it in. We all learn together by what you do, what you don't do. And we also help. This helps us with our own songwriting. So, again, thank you very much. Good night, everybody. See you in a month. Thank you, guys, from the team. And thank you, guys, in the chat. Bye-bye.
That was interesting.
Are we still here in the behind the scenes?